Hey guys, and welcome. I'm Kate. This is my Wacky Wall-Walker class. We're gonna do everything today at a wall. So grab your mat, find some wall space where you don't feel uncomfortable, maybe walking your feet up the wall, and a block if you've got it. And let's get to it. Okay guys, so we're gonna start standing up. So get up. We're gonna face the wall. I don't know, what is that? A couple inches away from the wall. Sorry that my back is to you, but you don't really need to see what's going on in front. So you're gonna take your hands shoulder distance apart and walk them up. Keep your fingertips on the wall, but lift the centers of your palms. So you're gonna make little like tents with your hands. Then you wanna wrap your triceps in toward your ears, just like we would do if we were in down dog, right? So when you do that, you wanna make sure that your low ribs don't start to jut out, right? So you wanna plug the low ribs in. While the low ribs plug down, feel your tailbone lengthen, right? It seems like a dumb thing to focus on, but we're gonna focus on that because over the course of this exercise, you're gonna wanna start to go into duck butt. So fight the duck butt. All right, so triceps wrap in, low ribs hug down, lengthen your tailbone, and just walk your fingertips up the wall. Soften the upper traps. Wrap your triceps in. Keep your core strong. Keep those low ribs tucked in, and see if you can walk your fingertips a little bit farther up the wall. Relax your triceps. You can relax those too, but you want to relax your upper traps and then roll your triceps in toward your ears. Keep your tailbone lengthening toward your heels. Keep your low ribs drawing down, and you're going to walk your fingertips up a little bit higher, until you can't walk them anymore, and then breathe. Try to keep the tops of your shoulders soft. Breath steady, inhale. And when you exhale, slide your arms back down the wall. Okay, so now you're gonna spin yourself so your right side is facing the wall. And so you're about 10 to 12 inches away. Feet, hips distance apart, so right underneath you. And you're gonna take your forearm to the wall with your pinky edge of your hand there. Blunk. And then kind of let your hand drop back a touch. And you want to feel how the head of that arm bone rolls into the socket. And again, engage your abdominals, low ribs stay hugged in. You're going to press the side of your hand into the wall and just slowly start to walk your toes out like you were going to dial your toes toward the middle of the room. Keep your tailbone lengthened. Keep your ribs in. And breathe. If you feel like you can walk any amount more, you can spin a little bit more. While you do, press into your feet. Lift your chest. Lengthen through the top of your head. Inhale. And when you exhale, you're going to walk the feet back. All right. Drop the right arm down and around behind you, and then you're going to swing it forward again, all the way up. This time your palm is going to face the wall, and bring the hand down. Spread your fingers, and the head of that right arm bone is going to roll open again. So you want to feel this rolling back action. Keep your feet evenly distributed through both feet. Oh goodness, do as I say, not as I do. No, do as I do, not as I say. We're going to keep the fingers spread. Press your palm into the wall, and then slowly, instead of spinning your feet this time, you're going to spin your chest toward the middle of the room. And you can take your left hand and open it out also. Notice if you've started to lengthen, right, and duck butt out, keep scooping that tailbone and breathe. If you want to take it a little bit deeper, without changing the weight, without dipping yourself toward the wall, you can bend that inside knee. Take another breath here. And then when you exhale, we're going to walk yourself back through the middle. Take a minute. Let's do the other side. So left forearm to the wall. You're going to bring your pinky edge of the hand down, and then boop, the arm back. Okay, core strong, feet underneath you. Going to keep pressing into the wall and start to roll your toes out. You want to feel where that arm presses into the wall. At the same time, lengthen through the top of your head, root through your feet, and breathe. All right, another breath here. And then start to walk your feet back. So your left side's toward the wall, and you're gonna let that arm drop down, and then just do a big old circle up and around, flip your palm toward the wall, and you're gonna reach back. So your hand is a little bit higher than shoulder height, and again, head of that arm bone rolls back. Keep your tailbone lengthened, keep your weight down through both feet, and then you're gonna start to roll that right shoulder open. You can reach through that right hand and breathe. All right, and then from here, you can bend your inside knee if you want. So that left knee is gonna bend, but don't let your weight drop toward the wall. Keep everything steady over your feet. Take a breath here. And then you're gonna let that go. And we're gonna face the wall, hands shoulder distance, okay? And then maybe line it up so your fingertips are about the height of your shoulders. Okay, spread your fingers, and if your shoulders are tight, you can take the index fingers and point them straight up. Otherwise, you want the webbing between the index finger and the middle finger pointing up. Then we're just gonna start to walk the feet back. I don't know, what is that, like 3 feet back? Feet hips distance apart, and I'm gonna bend my knees to start, right? So I'm gonna bend my knees, press the hands into the wall, and then as I hug my upper arms in, I'm gonna drag my sitting bones back. So pull your sitting bones back behind you, and you can let your head hang for a second. You wanna keep wrapping those upper arms in toward your ears. Keep your abdominal muscles drawn in, and then work to straighten the legs. Push down through your feet, and push the wall away with your hands. It's like a little down dog at the wall. Take one more breath here. And let it out. And soften your knees and walk back toward the wall. Okay, one more thing standing up. You're gonna spin yourself around, okay? Okay, heels to the wall, butt to the wall, shoulders to the wall. Bend those elbows so the elbows are gonna come to the wall, and then the backs of your hands come to the wall. And now here it's super important to feel these low ribs hug in. So we don't wanna do this. Keep the low ribs drawn in so that core is gonna work pretty strong. And you wanna keep the backs of your hands, keep your arms on the wall, shoulders, everything on the wall are gonna work to straighten your arms. And they might not go super straight. That's okay. And we're gonna bend. Oh. All right, and up again. Keep drawing your ribs down toward your pubic bone. Fingertips reach up toward the sky. Everything stays connected to the wall. And then bend. One more. This is super good for upper back strength. Here we go. Keep reaching up through those fingertips. Keep those low ribs in. Maybe you can go a little higher this time. And then we're gonna come down and walk yourself away from the wall. And then you realize, holy crap, that was a lot of work. And that's good. All right, so now from here, we're gonna come down and I'm gonna have you grab your block if you've got it. You don't need to use it if it's not at the ready. So you're gonna take your block between your thighs, and you're gonna come onto bring the balls of your feet to the wall. Okay? I'm gonna try to center myself so it's aesthetically pleasing for those of you out there. Okay, so you're gonna squeeze your block, come onto your forearms. You'll figure out the distance eventually, right? If you kind of come up for a second and then realize you need to adjust. But you interlace your fingers, and now from here we're gonna come into a forearm plank. Press your feet into the wall, squeeze the block. Keep pressing into the floor, keep squeezing the block. And the wall is nice because it gives you some feedback. It gives you something that you can press into. And breathe. Rooting down. Don't let your hips get too high, don't let them sink too low, and keep the squeeze of the block. is a super effective core strengthener. So we're gonna hit it for another, I don't know. What do you think? 15 seconds? Sure. Let's do it. 5 more seconds. And drop your knees to the floor. You can get rid of the block. If you didn't have a block, it's perfectly fine to do it without. All right, and then from here, you're gonna take your one hip to the wall, scooch up as close as you can scooch, right? Lay back on your elbows and swing yourself up. And if you need to scoot yourself closer to the wall, that's perfectly fine. And just take a second here. All right, so now from here, you're gonna flex your feet a little bit and let your feet slide down the wall. And you want to keep some action pushing through your heels. So keep that energy stretching out through the soles of your feet. And your arms can rest out by the sides. You can stretch them up or whatever feels good for you. We're just working on the inner thighs here, and we're letting gravity do all the work. You can close your eyes. I'm going to stay here for another breath or two. And as you soften, maybe your legs want to drop a little bit more. Just keep stretching the energy through your heels. All right, now you're gonna grab the backs of your knees with your hands and pull your feet in and bring your feet to the wall. So now this one you may need to scooch a little bit away. That's okay. You're gonna keep the left foot on the wall. Take your right ankle over the top of your left thigh. So I'll do it this way. Ugh. Okay, so now I'm gonna flex this right foot, take your right hand to the knee, and you can just support the leg, can gently press your knee toward the wall, and you can modify the depth of the stretch by straightening this left leg or by bending it in a little bit. So if your butt shoots off the floor, if you're like in another stratosphere here, move away from the wall so your whole back can rest on the floor. And we're just gonna breathe, because there's nothing left to do here. So this is a great alternative for your figure 4 stretch. If you're feeling super tired, if you went for a long run or you spent a long time on your feet at work, whatever it may be, this is a great alternative because you don't really have to do any work. You can let the wall support you while you work into your stretch. I'm going to take one more breath here. And you can always pause the video and stay here as long as you want. This one is really quite nice. So if you want to stay here longer, that's perfectly fine. You can catch up with us when you're ready. And we're going to stretch the left leg up, bring your right foot to the wall, and just do the other side. Take that left ankle over the top of the right thigh. And this side may be completely different. So if you need a different depth of stretch, if you need more space or less space, just adjust as necessary. Support your leg with your left hand. Encourage that external rotation. Relax your shoulders. And breathe here. Two more breaths. And again, if you want to pause and hang out here for longer, that's fine. Straighten your right leg. Take your left leg up the wall, and we're just going to hang here. And if you want to scoot yourself a little closer, take a few moments here in Viparita Karani. This is another great one to do after a long day on your feet, after a long ride or a long run. Relax the weight of your shoulders and your hips. and let the weight of your legs drop down. So the muscles in your low back get a chance to really soften. And just focus on your breath. Okay, and from here you're gonna bend your knees, bring your feet flat on the wall, take your arms out to the sides, and your palms can face down or up, and you're just gonna walk your feet over to the right. Oh, and this is a pretty intense twist. So if you need to slide away from the wall, that's cool. Take your left shoulder toward the floor, take your gaze over to the left. And bring your feet up through the middle. See, now we're wall walking. And let your feet go all the way over to the left. And feel where your right shoulder can settle in. Take your gaze over to the right. Okay. Walk your feet back up through the middle. And now from here, we're just gonna do a squat at the wall, right? So take your feet wide. Still on the wall, you're gonna open your toes a little bit. You can take your hands to your knees. You can let your arms rest out by your sides. And just take a couple of breaths here. So you can imagine we were doing Balasana, right? But the wall is the floor. And the floor is the wall. All right, and then slide the soles of your feet together, let your knees open. And bring your knees together. Roll to one side. And come on up. All right, guys, you can, again, pause the video if you want, take a second, lay out, take a couple of breaths in Vajrasana here or in a Sukhasana, but I want to say thanks for spending a little bit of your time with me, and I appreciate it deeply. Like and subscribe. You can hit the little bell. Apparently that's a notification. My 10-year-old told me. And I look forward to seeing you guys again soon. Thanks so much.